Hello, I'm Anna and this is Daisy, and this is why we think you should take English Lit.
Both the teachers, Julie and Dean, are amazing in the literature department and they're the best people to have when teaching this course. Both of them are so caring about every single student and will always help them inside and outside the classroom.
They're both really open to students and you can always talk to them about anything, and Julie is a massive mother hen. Dean not so much, but he's still great, and they always just want you to help achieve their best. So I think that's great.
Hi, my name's Sam. I think you should do English literature because it allows you to access new worlds that you wouldn't have already read about.
Hi, I'm Katie, and I just think, I wouldn't have usually read dystopias, but things like Handmaid's Tale, but I just find it really interesting. It's really helped me, across my other subjects.
Yeah, it's really helped me learn about new political systems and religious systems. That's helped me in my philosophy as well, so it's been really useful.
Hi, I'm Hannah. You should study English literature because it complements other English-based subjects really well. So if you were thinking of taking English literature alongside English language, you'll notice that the AO3 context required in many of the essays for English literature will really help with some parts of the English language course, for example, language change. Not only that, despite the two subjects being so very different in content, the basis of the skills which you require when analysing text in English Lit will really support your learning of the meanings and representations course for English language.
Hi, I'm Bethany and this is Hebe. I study Maths and Fine Art alongside Lit.
And I study French and History as well as Lit. And you should study English literature because it has loads of links all over the curriculum, particularly in texts such as Milton's Paradise Lost and the dystopian texts, is where you can find relatable links between particularly history and English literature. Learning about the importance of the Puritan choir and the importance of the Puritan challenge in history can be a great influence to include in your context for Paradise Lost. As well as we do a whole section about the Salem witch trials in history, which can be added to the context of Handmaid's Tale, which relates to the historic misogyny.
You should study Lit because it worked really well for me alongside art. I was able to use characters and ideas from the text we studied in my project, for example, A Doll's House and the attitudes towards men throughout the years. Lit also gave me a break from the rigid structure of maths and allowed me to learn different skills like structuring analytical essays. So that's why you should study Lit.
Hi, I'm Ellie.
I'm Piper.
And you should study English literature because the dystopian section of your exam is really really It lets you explore more modern aspects of English. For example, in your exam you have a part A and a part B, and in the section A you get given an unseen extract. This lets you explore it in loads of detail, and you go into the individual meanings of different words and the effect of these. This is so interesting because you get to read something that you wouldn't have otherwise read. So yeah, it just lets you do that.
And then in part B, you've got a question. You have to debate it by comparing 1984 and Handmaid's Tale, and you use context to do that, which allows fiction to become more realistic. So it really helps you understand it better.
Yeah, it both are just really applicable to the real world when considering the wider issues. So it's really interesting.
Hi, I'm Harry.
And hi, I'm Emily.
And I think you should study English because it's interesting to see the different genres of plays, and especially for Twelfth Night, which you'll study in the first term. And the fact that it's a comedy, which I think it's quite interesting to see the difference between the sort of tragedies that you would study at GCSE, like maybe Hamlet or Macbeth, and the differences between them, and then the comedies of Shakespeare, and also the way in which it's kind of reinterpreted as the centuries go by. So obviously what might have been funny at the time Shakespeare was writing might have lost some of its comedy now, but there's reinterpretations through different productions, so you'll have the opportunity to watch a lot of different productions and the way in which that's interpreted now. So it's an interesting way to see literature.
the central premise of Twelfth Night is kind of that every single character is performing in some way. That's what adds to the comedy, because every character is pretending to be something that they're not. And that results in a lot of characters falling in love with the wrong person. People are playing different genders, so it's very interesting how different genders would have been seen back in Shakespeare's time and then how we see that now. So through that all that confusion, hopefully it gets resolved at the end, but there is this kind of, is it resolved, is it not? And that's why Twelfth Night's a really interesting play.
Hi, we're Alex and Sophie, and you should take English Lit because
of the coursework that you do across the course. Specifically the comparative coursework that you do in second year, which is a really engaging piece of work where you compare two works of fiction, Orange is Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Rinterson and After Mrs. Rochester by Polly Teal, which is about the author Jean Rhys. And both pieces are really interesting, and they tackle really interesting themes on like sexual violence and growing up and how families can damage you. And it's some of the best work that you'll end up doing because of how varied it can be, and everyone seems to be doing something entirely different to everyone else. Plus, it can help you with your literature degree, as Sophie will say.
it allows you to be more independent, as unlike the other parts of English Lit A Level, you do it in your own time and more by yourself without the aid of a teacher more. And it also prepares you for the outside readings, as when you're preparing to do your coursework, you go off and you read it yourself, understand it yourself, do your research about it, which for uni, you mainly do that with your texts that you're given. And it also helps with essay writing, as it prepares you for more freely written essays rather than the timed essays that you do with the other parts of English Lit A Level, such as 12th Night when you do your timed essays. And yeah.
And yeah.
That is why you should do English Lit.
Mm-hmm.